Please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Over the weekend, I noticed a rather interesting back and forth concerning PPP of Kino Casino and Melanie Mac, who has done a number of videos in the past concerning Tomb Raider, but in current year is more known for using words that I can't use on YouTube. Apparently both are in their own way God-fearing individuals. I say this because I've bothered to go and get all the tweets we need for today, and there seems to be some implication that one is either trolling, deflecting, or the other is trolling and deflecting. However, since one uses images that aren't in fact real to support a point, there is some credibility being shot quite hard in the anus. And I choose that word on purpose because of one of the people we're covering in this video. This all started because of Star Wars Girl putting out a statement on Twitter, a fairly lengthy one talking about why they didn't really, at first, condemn Nick Recator. Nick Recator is still a hot topic, and I, to an extent, am actually waiting until it fully dies down because there's a legal process involved in this, and I'd rather wait to see it play out. That, and also I forgot to get on it when it was hotter. So a retrospective, when concluded, would be better for me. Well, my style of content anyway. This is the tweet in question. By all means, pause and read it if you wish. Melanie Mac had replied to this by saying, "It's all in bad faith. They've done the same to me because I said I was praying for him and his family, and I hope he and his wife can get better." Now, of course, in the context of healing, of course, I want everyone to do well and succeed, prosper, and improve if possible. This still applies to Nick Recator regardless of what he is being charged with. Triple P saw this, Melanie Mac's tweet, and retweeted it by saying the following: "Is it really bad faith to expect you to be consistent with condemning degeneracy? If Recator and Kayla were a homosexual couple, or left-wing, we would never hear the end of it from you. Because he's on the right side, it's prayers and love. Your attitude leads to LGBT acceptance." This ballpark of conversation we are now entering feels very much like gatekeeping and purity testing individuals' faith, based on your own interpretation of your faith, which to me is a bit crappy. But I'm not going to give too much away in the form of opinion on who is right and wrong between Melanie and PPP, or Triple P, whichever's easiest to say. I might just call him P, singular, because saying PPP actually creates a minor stammer in my voice. Continuing with the tweets, we have a lot to go through. P also retweeted that Star Wars Girl by saying, "How about you condemn the drug and child ABUSE instead of writing multi-paragraph screeds about how you're the real victim? You and Melanie didn't need to say an effing thing, but you inserted yourselves in so you could claim victim status and deflect from Recator's crimes." Now, Melanie Mac had retweeted Darwin to Jesus. Darwin to Jesus had tweeted, "If you love someone, you won't enable them," included as a meme that I don't really agree with. She retweeted with facts. P had said the irony, "If you love someone, you won't enable them, unless they happen to be a swinging cuck that snorts sherbet off Baldo toys and refuses to feed or clothe the kids. Then we enable them for clout and hide behind thoughts and prayers, love is love, no judgment, etc., etc." I feel like there's some hostility here towards Recator from P. I don't know the full context on that part. I just see someone who's fallen hard, because I don't pay attention to LawTube or that particular creator. So as an outsider, that's how it is interpreted. Melanie Mac had also tweeted, "I love Jesus, I love America, and I'm a bigot because sometimes you've got to be." Retweeted by P, because this obsession's going to go on for a while. Sometimes you have to be a bigot, just not when the subject of bigotry is a sherbet-head, cuckold, alcoholic that ABUSESs his children and refuses to repent in any way. Then we sweep for that man and say, "Love wins, no judgment." What a joke. The reply underneath, wanting to see Melanie and P debate, is actually something I'd be interested in. Mostly because I've seen a few Kino Casino episodes and this dude does a lot of shouting. I think he'd get out of breath pretty quick. I'm going to continue reading the tweets as I saved them. Some might not be in the right position. I do apologise for that. P tweeted, "When did we decide that a tattooed childless e-girl grifter pushing 40 was the voice of God? Her Christianity is a Christianity of judgment, bigotry and tough love
except
when it's somebody she can make
dollars
off.
Hacking is okay when it's a member of the Grift Club.
At this point, I'm inclined to believe the word grift has lost all meaning. Is this part now where I promote my Streamlabs coffee, PayPal, Patreon and all that, just so I can get in on the action? P continued. Yes, of course he did. Is Melanie living this? 1 Peter 3:4. I don't know what any of that means. I assume it's chapter and verse. Do not let your adornment be merely outward, arranging the hair, wearing gold, or putting on fine apparel. Rather, let it be the hidden person of the heart, with the incorruptible beauty of a gentle and quiet spirit. He's quoting religious, isn't he? Okay. She is heavy on the tattoos, heavy on the makeup and the adornments of thoughterry, and heavy on the obnoxious, outspoken attitude, but very light on the gentle, quiet spirit and submission. She is that word, who sells her convictions for attention from men and dollar from grifters. This is very bold. Some would interpret it the way your comments have, on your side, fully understand that. Others would interpret it as you coming across as a bit of an incel. Without knowing the full context, I'm only stating observation only. I'm not giving an opinion. Please don't try me. Continuing. Maybe it's time for Melanie Mac to engage in some modesty. The silence will be appreciated. Included is more religious text. The Pharisees, is that what that word is? Of the past at least had the decency to put on a clean, wholesome image on the surface. Today's grifters are filthy inside and out. Baldos, sherbet, cucking, immodest dress and tattoos, but
they are the moral arbiters. Don't you dare judge Nick Cricketer.
Even those that are religious are incredibly judgy. Vast majority of the planet is religious, in fact, and humanity is renowned for being a judgy species. This preaching is quite interesting because I've watched a couple episodes of Kino Casino. You don't practice what you preach, and as others have pointed out, you've taken rather immodest photos of certain areas of your body. Now, included in your tweet is more religious content and a picture of Melanie in sportswear. Very immodest, of course. I don't really care. Now, P did spend a lot of time over the weekend retweeting others criticising Melanie. For example, Melanie had tweeted, "Maybe this is something of me, but I can't jump on the hate train for people's personal lives." Lipstick Larry, "This is what a grifter looks like, folks. Point and laugh. Power of the truth." That's P, by the way. P had tweeted, "Knowing that if a man lusts after a woman, he has committed the sin of adultery in his heart. Why does Melanie Mac choose to make her brothers stumble by posting immodestly like this? It's almost like she doesn't give an F and all this is a grift. Maybe put some clothes on." The image has been digitally altered. She did not in the original picture wear a bikini and bright lipstick in it. Community note, confirm that. In fact, Melanie Mac replied with the original picture. Now you could argue she's still not dressed modestly, but she is still wearing clothing. She is not doing a thought post in this picture. This is a level of dishonesty that I do not think acceptable. You, P, could have dunked on her with actual pictures taken from Google that linked directly back to tweets that she had posted, if you wanted. But they were nowhere near the level of the dishonest picture, as far as immodesty, as the one you posted that was photoshooped. I don't care for dishonesty when it comes to laying the smackdown on other people. And this is not helped because you also followed up with a retweet of Scramming by saying, "Is this what the Christian woman of today looks like? Is this modesty? Is she helping her brothers that struggle with the sin of lust? She is very concerned, and rightfully so, with the sexual immorality, but sin is sin. She is causing brothers to stumble." It should be noted, this picture is fake as well. This is incredibly dishonest. Again, others were right to point out there are other pictures when she was cutting with a carnivore diet. You could argue then sexualizing because she's posting pictures of her abdominal region while showing it off because of those cutting gains, right? Or side profile pictures where her booty might feature but isn't really a booty picture, certainly when compared to the thots that post just straight up anus pictures like PPP does. Yes, I've seen that picture. I do not need to see the Grand Canyon again, thank you. There are many people that PPP retweeted over the course of the 1st and 2nd of June. Many of those tweets accused Melanie of acting in bad faith when she accused PPP of doing the same. Many accused her of gaslighting. I think that word's lost all meaning as well. And of course, inconsistencies from the quartering as well, because he was all too willing to call out Lawrence Southern at some point. Again, I don't pay enough attention to him. No offence, Jeremy, of course. But if there's inconsistencies, it would certainly explain why you deleted a number of the tweets you did in defence of Melanie Mac, who I know why you're going to defend. You do, after all, do a show together. It makes perfect sense. I'm sure the same would apply to PPP or Andy Warski if the other was in what you'd consider drama. In this, I noticed Melanie was giving as good as she got, and correcting people who were unwilling to accept her point or compromise in some manner. PPP himself tweeted out a lot more religious quotes and basically judged one's interpretation of their faith, which is totally fine in the context of religion. I'm fascinated that this all started from that one Thoughts and Prayers tweet. And apparently, even though from what I know you're taught to forgive all, turn the other cheek, forgiveness for all, yes. In this, apparently, there is no forgiveness for Nickricata. But at the same time, because of how individuals treat individual circumstances, when others look at that, they see preferential treatment given to one over the other. That is seen as an inconsistency. As creators, we are prone to making these mistakes. There's no denying that. I have certain bias when it comes to creators that I am quite fond of. Does this apply in this instance? In the online space, yes. It is usually used as a way to set up a wider talking point about how you are not as consistent. There are a lot of tweets, by the way, in this. And my real problem is, PPP can use all the religious quotes he likes, but he has acted in bad faith and used fake evidence to drive home a point. He did later on tweet out some of the images you can find through a Google search. He also retweeted a lot of people who took craps on Melanie for a failed marriage, driving home a point about being a fake Christian. Don't forget here, a lot of people find religion later in life if they want it. And we all come from, and we all carry baggage of some kind. This isn't as much of a gotcha as you might think it is. No offense to Dr. Egghead. And when Melanie addressed photos of her in swimwear, PPP took the interaction she had, he had, she had, they had, by saying she couldn't answer any further, she lost. She also won't answer why she won't condemn Ricata being a wife-swapping cuck and child that word, but will condemn all manner of other sin. I think I've already mentioned inconsistency. And there are many who are reluctant to condemn Ricata because they want him to get better, if possible, so he can be a better parent. I'm not going to try and justify anything he has done, allegedly. And I say that because until it has gone through court and is verified, I am unwilling to say he is definitely that. It's why I do a Halls of Injustice YouTube series on this channel, and I wait until the trial is over, until the sentence is administered, if their sentence is administered, if they're found guilty. This is vitally important. A lot of this in the online space is presuming guilt because of what is known so far, and I fully understand that, but I'm not willing to compromise my values on that just to jump on it. I will admit, though, it is tempting. So what did Melanie do? She walked away from PPP's crusade of righteousness and instead tweeted out pictures and videos of her rabbit, of her steak, and a comic book. To be honest, that's probably a better use of the internet. Your steak is cooked properly, I approve. Needs more onion rings and thicker chips. And that rabbit is kind of cute, actually. That's what the internet should be for, really, shouldn't it? Yeah. Tell me what you think in the comments down below. I do want to make a video on Nickricata. I've done some shorts covering updates, but I'm not really committed just yet, or convinced I should make any video just yet. And what you think of this interaction, because there are a lot more tweets I didn't include, and those include ones that were retweeted by PPP, who retweeted anything from anyone that dunked on Melanie, from any angle he found acceptable. And that's fine. We all retweet things from time to time. Sure, you do you, boo. I'm just not going to be one of those. So let me know what you think in the comments.